It's almost impossible to illustrate a history of American music in the late 60s and 70s without the pictures of Henry Diltz. It's been almost 50 years since Diltz first picked up a camera. He shot the Mamas and the Papas, the Eagles, and Jackson Browne for their album covers, Paul and Linda McCartney for a Life magazine cover, a young Michael Jackson, an old B.B. King. As word got around about his work, Diltz got a phone call from the Doors.
How did you end up here?
So this is the hotel that Ray Manzarek, the keyboard player, had seen, just driving by, randomly.
In 1969, he took lead singer Jim Morrison and the band to a rundown hotel in downtown L.A.
So here it is.
Yeah.
Morrison Hotel, right there, Jim was right about here, Ray was over there.
Did you position them?
No, I didn't. Because we came out here and I thought, well, I'll have them stand here like this under the sign.
Yeah.
And then they said, run in there. And they just hit those spots.
Right.
Perfect.
How popular has that photograph become?
Of all the album covers I've done, that is the one that people all ages seem to know.
The music icons who called LA's Laurel Canyon home. Jimi Hendrix.
There's nobody like Jimmy playing the guitar like that.
The Doors.
Jim Morrison was one of the people that was always part of our little clique.
Once upon a time, there was this place called Laurel Canyon. And if you had been fortunate enough in the mid to late 60s to have lived there, you would have found yourself among the most magical of people.
In 1965, half of the population of what we call the Western world was under the age of 25. You have a revolution and evolution in consciousness when you have a condition like that.
We were the new generation. We were the hippies, We all felt like brothers and sisters, and love was in the air, and peace, and there was lots of wonderful music happening.
Laurel Canyon was the epitome of the summer of love. I mean, people, girls and boys hitchhiked up and down the road. We saw the possibility of a way we could live.
There was no separation between races or gay, straight, whatever. It was all love, and the whole canyon was thick with it.
All the hip people moved there because it was right by the Sunset Strip, but it was in the forest at the same time. So you could have both a city, country and city, town and country effect.
I think initially musicians kind of congregated here is because it was inexpensive to live. You had all of these people from the Doors, the Byrds, Buffalo Springfield.
I lived across the street from Mark Volman of the Turtles, Jackson Browne. Right up the hill from Mickey Dolenz and Joni Mitchell and Frank Zappa. It never occurred to me that, 20, 30 years later, this would be a part of a history.
My neighbors were Linda Ronstadt, John Mayall, Cass Elliot, the guys from Three Dog Night.
The band Love, Crosby, Stills and Nash. There were some girls too. Of course, I paid attention to the boys.
It just seemed normal to us at the time, but looking back, it was unbelievable.
And from this open-minded forest, a quick thumb ride down the hill would put you right in the heart of LA's music universe.
Sunset Strip was where you went to parade. We were all trying to play the same clubs. At night, we were all trying to get gigs just so the band could eat, either at the Whiskey or Beatolitos or Pandora's Box.
The Whiskey A Go-Go was an amazing place then. You could see the best acts in the world at the time.
We played the Whiskey A Go-Go with some band called Led Zeppelin, and nobody had ever heard of either one of us. We were just two local bands at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
It was during this time that another big change was about to take place, fueled by four long-haired musicians from across the pond.
The Beatles really, they were the impetus for the change in music.
When the Beatles played Ed Sullivan, first of all the folk groups saw that performance and saw that joyful music and said, what are we singing about ox drivers for when we could be doing that joyful? And they wrote their own music and played electric instruments. So all the folk groups went out, electrified our instruments, and so did everybody. And you had the Buffalo Springfield Men and the Byrds and these new kind of electric folk rock groups.
Founded by Arthur Lee and Johnny Eccles, along with band members Brian McLean, Ken Forsey, Alban Snoopy Pfisterer, and Michael Stewart Ware, the band Love was groundbreaking in many ways, including being one of the first racially mixed bands.
We couldn't play lots of places in this country, like in the South, which had a huge rock audience, but being that we were a racially mixed group, we couldn't play there.
Because of this, many of Love's album covers featured drawings of the group rather than their actual pictures.
The places in the South, if you look at what was happening, people were being lynched and dogs put on them for trying to vote. So seeing a bunch of hippies from California coming there, they just weren't into that. So the red states were basically off limits to us.
Just got out my little red book the minute that you said goodbye.
But in LA, Love was all the rage.
My little red book, I wasn't gonna sit and cry. And I went from A to Z. I took out every pretty girl in town. They danced with me. And as I held them, all I did was talk about you. Here in a minute, I start to cry. Let's just don't get it over you. Oh, no.
Though hugely popular on the West Coast, Love never achieved the worldwide success many believe they deserved.
We were having problems with our record company. We'd been offered a really fantastic deal to leave and go with MCA, which was a much larger record company than Elektra was at the time. And they just were not going to let us go. And so we came up with the dumbest idea we could. We thought if we hooked them up with the Doors, they'll let us go. So we hooked them up with the Doors, and instead of letting us go, they kind of used the money that they would have used to promote us for the Doors. So basically we shot ourselves in the foot.
But in the Love documentary, Love Story, Arthur Lee candidly reveals another reason for their lack of success: his unwillingness to tour outside of California.
I had a good thing going on the West Coast, and actually, to tell you the truth, I was afraid.
Love's groundbreaking album, Forever Changes, is listed in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time, coming in at an impressive number 40, ahead of Meet the Beatles and Bob Marley Legend. While living here with longtime girlfriend Pamela Corson, Morrison would pen lyrics to the Doors albums Waiting for the Sun and most of the Soft Parade, including the song Love Street about the house and the neighborhood. The lyrics, "I see you live on Love Street, there's this store where the creatures meet," is a reference to the Canyon Country Store just outside their window. World-famous groupie Pamela DeBar has a special memory of the house. We caught up with her on one of her rock and roll tours of Laurel Canyon.
I used to stay with a friend of mine who lived right next door up here, and I heard the Doors music being played, and I said, who in the world has this pre-release Doors album, you know? So I would tip down all these steep stairs, and I peeked in the door, and it was Jim singing along to The End, and it was pretty hot. I actually walked into the house and proceeded to do a back bend. So I had just learned how to do a back bend, so I was very, very proud of it. I looked up, and Pam was looking down at me. And she said, "Get the bleep out of my house."
The female attention that he got was like nothing I had ever seen in my life.
As much as he wanted to be in the public eye and to be a rock star, he hated it. He was trying to, you know, to be taken seriously as an artist, as a musician, rather than a sex object. And I kept telling him, dude, it's all part of it. And if you didn't look the way you look, more than likely they wouldn't listen to you. So it's all part of the package. But he never understood that.
He was overwhelmed by all the attention, which I think is what led him to drink more.
And that led to legendary fights between Jim and Pam.
The neighborhood would all hear it. The people at the Canyon store would see it. What they particularly see would be Pam throwing Jim's clothes out the window, his record collection, and if it was a really bad fight, his book collection, which was very important to him.
On New Year's weekend of 2012, an arson fire destroyed much of the house, which is currently being rebuilt. But the Love Street house is no stranger to fires, and one in particular is a widely debated subject. Then photographer Bobby Klein was Jim and Pam's neighbor.
They were in love. They were in love. It was very tender, and when Jim was straight, it was beautiful.
There's always been this big controversy about this one scene in the Oliver Stone film where Jim puts Pam in the closet and lights it on fire, and many people have said it never happened.
No, it happened because Pam came to my house right after, and we were one house separate from each other. Jim was accusing her of sleeping with some playboy around town, and he was pretty messed up. He got really, really angry, threw her in the closet, lit the closet on fire, and it happened. She came to my house afterwards, freaked out.
So you went down and you actually saw that the closet had been on fire?
All around the edges, it was all smoke. Yeah, there was a lot of people said it didn't happen, but it definitely happened.
Sadly, the normally quiet and reserved poet would face many personal demons in his very short life.
I could see it was a bit too much. It was a bit uncomfortable, because at the very heart and core of who Jim was, he was truly a gentle soul, very sweet, and also very kind.
She lives on Love Street, lingers long on Love Street. She has a house and garden. I would like to see what happens. She has robes and she has monkeys, lazy diamond-studded flunkies. She has wisdom and knows what to do. She has me and she has you. I see you live on Love Street. There's the store where the creatures meet. I wonder what they do in there. Summer, Sunday, and a year. I guess I like it fine so far. Lingers long on Love Street. She has a house and garden. I would like to see what happens. when the music's over. When the music's over here. When the music's over, turn up the lights, turn up the lights, turn up the lights. Yeah, yeah. When the music's over. When the music's over. When the music's over, turn up the lights, turn up the lights, turn up the lights. For the music is your special friend. Dance on fires, it intends. Music is your only friend. Until the end, until the end, until the cancel my subscription to the resurrection. Send my credentials to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. The face in the mirror won't stop. The girl in the window won't drop. A feast of friends, alive she cried, waiting for me outside. Before I sing into the big sleep, I want to hear the scream of the butterfly. back, baby, back into my arms. We're getting tired of hanging around. Waiting around with our heads to the ground. I hear a very gentle sound. Very near yet very far, very soft yet very clear. Come today, come today. What have they done to the earth? What have they done to our fair sister? Ravaged and plundered and ripped her and bit her, stuck her with knives in the side of the dawn, and tied her with fences and dragged her down. I hear a very gentle sound. With your ear down to the ground. We want the world and we want it. We want the world and we want it. Now. Now. So when the music's over, when the music's over, yeah. When the music's over, turn out the lights, turn out the lights, turn out the lights. While the music is your special friend, dance on fires, Indian turns. Music is your only friend. Till the end, until the end, until the end. Okay, let's do one more. I love you the best, better than all the rest. I love you the best, better than all the rest that I meet in the summer, Indian summer. That I meet in the summer, Indian summer. I love you the best, better than all the